Okay, so I got basically the genealogy of Rome before it was Rome. So this kind of is where Rome came from primordially, because they make you think in conventional history that Rome is just like, we don't know what happened before Roman times. You know, it's just this big haze and nobody knows. Not true. There's records about it, more than one. Here's one of them. Let me do the screen share. Let me see here. Okay. This is Chronicles of Jeremiel. This is like a Jewish compilation, but the reason it's useful is because they have these little fragments from that book that I was talking about, Yosipon, which was referenced in medieval times for genealogy. And back then, everyone knew that genealogy was related to scripture, so it was far more accurate than what people think now. And it tells you that in those days, Sepho, the son of Eliphaz was one of the sons of Esau. Remember, I was telling you Esau bred with the Canaanites. This was one of his sons, Eliphaz. So Sepho was his son, or Zepho with the Z. Go down. Sorry, one sec. Go down.
This is priceless stuff here, man. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the whole Palestine area was Canaan, land of Canaan, or Canaan, or however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, and just whenever you're ready, just take me and us to
Okay.
what we're looking at.
This kind of gets to the meat of it, right? If you read this verse here, it says, the Kittim then assembled and appointed Zepho to the throne of the kingdom. They went forth to subdue the children of Tubal and the nations around it, and Janus, their king, went before them and subdued them. After this, Zepho was called Saturnus in addition to Janus. Janus after the name of the beast, and Saturnus after the name of the star which they worshipped in those days, i.e. Saturn. He reigned in the valley of Campania in the land of Kittim and built an exceedingly large temple there. He then extended his kingdom over the whole of Kittim and over all Italy. So it's telling you right there, this point, one of the sons of Esau became a king over the entire land of Italy, and he joined with the original people who were called the Kittim, the indigenous people, became the king over their land. And then his successor was Picos Phanos, who reigned 50 years. So he was, again, a descendant of Esau that was ruling over primordial Rome, or Italy, as it says there. And then it kind of goes on about the genealogy, like when then there was Latinus. After the death of Latinus was Tarquinius. He erected the temple to Saturn, and so forth. All right. So, what else to say? Then you get into the story of Romulus and Remus.
Yeah, of course.
The so-called founders of Rome. Well, it eventually gets to Romulus. I can't go through all the details because it's really kind of intricate.
This is literally.
But you get the idea, right?
This is literally a fucking breakdown, man.
But there's another thing too. When you look at Jasher, right, it explicitly says that the sons of Esau merged with the Kittim, the original inhabitants of Rome, and they became one people forever. So from that point on, and I'll get you that, because that's the same time period as this. So hold on, let me cut the screen share.
Shit.
Can you do that for me? That?
Yes, sir. Let me put this up on a big screen. This is just unprecedented stuff, man.
So you see here where I highlighted.
Yes, sir. Shit them.
Okay, so it says it's just identifying where the Chittim lived, right? So this tribe of Japheth, these are the original inhabitants of Rome. It says The children of Chittim are the Romim, who dwell in the valley of Canopia by the Tiber River.
So that's Tiberius, right? Basically.
Yeah, so that's in Italy, Rome, right around Rome, called the Romim, etc. This tells you kind of how they got there. It says the children of Chittim went and embodied themselves in the plain of Canopia. They built themselves cities and dwelt by the river Tabro. And the children of Tubal were like their neighbors. And it says they dwelt in Tuscany.
Yeah,
right. And later on, you see that they were fighting the Chittim and the Tubal, but it's not relevant anyway. So let me skip ahead.
It's freaking great, man.
So this is when Zepho, and I'll show you Zepho's genealogy to Esau after, but this is basically restating what we read in the other book, and it says Zepho reigned over the whole land of Chittim and over the land of Italia for 50 years. And then you saw in the other book how Zepho, the next kings after Zepho, were in his lineage over Italy. Right? This is kind of the most important part here, because they didn't just go to Italy. Okay, so you see this here. And it came to pass in those days that the king Abinas of Chittim died in the 38th year of his reign. That is the 7th year of his reign over Edom. And they buried, so Esau is Edom. So that is, you remember, right? And they buried him in his place that he had built for himself. And Latinus reigned in his stead for 50 years. During his reign, he brought forth an army. He went forth and fought against the inhabitants of Britannia. And Kernania, so possibly they were going forth even at that time into the rest of Europe, like Western Europe. The children of Elisha, son of Javan, he prevailed over them, made them tributary. He then heard that Edom had revolted from under the hand of Chittim, and Latinus went to them and smote them and subdued them, placed them under the hand of the children of Chittim. And this is the key part. Edom became one kingdom with the children of Chittim all the days. You see that? That's how Rome started, because, you see?
Holy moly, man.
And for many years there was no king in Edom. Their government was the children of Chittim and their king. That's just one example, but that's like the primary history of Rome, genealogically. So if you want to know about, these elite bloodlines and stuff, this is where they're tracing it to. Especially Edom, and again, Edom is, had some Canaanite lineages, which were demigods, which is why Alexander the Great, many of the Caesars, they talked about being demigods because they were.
I just had this crazy, well, not a crazy, but I just had this feeling that God led you to these things, man, and to realize and
Oh, do you know what the symbol of Edom was?
No.
Well, let me read it for you. Can you cut my screen share for a sec?
Yes.
It is. Let me try to share my internet tab here.
When you're ready, let me know. I'm gonna put it on the big screen.
I'm having some problems. I think. Can you cut my screen share? Is it still going?
No, I put it back down.
Okay. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Now it's good. All right, let me know if you see this. You see that?
Let me see. I think I see. Yes. Yes.
So you see the website I'm on, right?
Bible Hub.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so see this verse here?
Okay. The arrogance of your heart has
The
deceived.
destruction of Edom. So this is Obadiah 1 and 4 is a prophecy about Edom, right? It says, the arrogance of your heart has deceived you, you who live in the clefts of the rock, in the loftiness of your dwelling place, who say in your heart, who will bring me down to earth? And it says, if you read the King James, right, it says, though you exalt yourself as the eagle, right? So what's the symbol of Rome?
Oh my God, man.
The standard of Rome. What's the standard of the German Reich? What's the symbol of America?
Oh my
the
God.
eagle.
Oh my God.
You see where it comes from?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
His whole character, God describes Edom's character, his spirit, like he's like a predatory eagle kind of thing. Right.
Can you please read that paragraph right there, the destruction of Edom, please, man. This is some super important words right there, man.
Sure. Let me just let me get a full proper Bible page here. Not a great website for this anyway.
Holy shit, man. I'm being blown the F away right now, man. So it was always right there in front of our freaking eyes, man. We haven't been looking, man.
Obadiah 1, right? The vision, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. So it's talking about Edom, right? Just to clarify for anyone. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. You see? The pride of your heart has deceived you, you that dwells in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, who says in his heart, who shall bring me down? So he's talking about the habitat that Edom lived in. His ancestors lived in. They used to live in Lebanon. I'm sorry, not Lebanon. What's it called? That place called Jordan. Ancient Jordan was ancient Edom, and it's basically they lived in caves, and they built these very intricate cave houses and stuff like that. And many of the giant tribes lived with them, and they interbred with them, and then things like that. But that's why it's talking about how he likes to dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. So likes to be up on high, build skyscrapers and things like that. Full of pride, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though you exalt yourself as the eagle and set your nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down. So this kind of attitude mimics Satan's attitude, right? Because Satan said, I will exalt myself above the throne of God, right? That's what Satan said. But Edom's idea is similar, right? He likes to be lofty, above everything, above everyone. Although you set your nest among the stars, thence will I bring you down. And it goes on. It talks about how it'll be, they'll be judged very severely in the end days.
So
if you read the chapter, and it's all connected to this kingdom we're in now, because it's an extension of Rome. America is the eagle, again, an extension of Rome, Roman culture, Roman values, Roman court system, on and on. So many things from Rome. And then directly, even like the languages, a lot of things are still Latin in the law, or in Western science, they still use Latin. So it all goes back to Rome. And then the bloodlines go back to Rome. in the Vatican, which rules all these secret societies. They all go back to Rome. I mean, when you talk about secret societies, 90% of them are Templars.
Mm-hmm.
Knights of Malta, Ordo Templar Orientis. I mean, it's even in some of their names. And Templars are military, original Templars were just military arm of the Vatican.
Mm.
So they still exist. I mean, it's right. Like, if you just think about the concept of secret societies, they're Templars. Who are Templars loyal to? Rome. So it's our society is still Rome, and it's still these people that rule it.